Welcome everybody. Welcome back to Tarot Journeys with Guy. We decided that's what the name of the channel is going to be. Here we are. Welcome back. I'm glad to see everybody. How's everybody doing? How's things? Hope you're getting by. Hope that the vibrations are high and that there's groundedness and that people are experiencing a little bit of joy and not just the hardships. Okay, so yesterday we had mystery cards that were unsealed that we opened for the first time. And so today we're going to open up 3 more, and it's going to be a continuation, and then we're going to compile a zodiac reading, a zodiac wheel after 4 openings, I guess. On the 5th episode, that's when we'll do the whole reading. And today I think what we're going to do on top of that is we're going to seek guidance, again, always seeking guidance, but we're going to look at what do we need to prepare for next? What is the game plan of the deep state? What's their next psyop? What do we need to look for? And how can we better prepare? What do we need to do as individuals and as a collective, especially in the next couple of weeks, right? It's kind of important. There's a lot of things going on. Now, I don't know if people have been paying attention to like what's going on in the news and stuff. I mean, it's crazy. The other day, a couple days ago, UFO hearing. Now, very interesting how they're touting this new whistleblower as like the first person to come forward to disclose UFO information, but that's not true. There's been many people that have worked within the military and the intelligence community and NASA that have come forward. So this is part of a ruse, and it's something that people, they have to be wary of. It's very similar to the climate crisis. If the UFO invasion doesn't work, the climate crisis will work. And if the climate crisis won't work, then another pandemic will work. And if the pandemic doesn't work, they'll crash the economic system. And if the economic system crashing doesn't work, then they'll start a global conflict. And it's endless, right? So that's what we're going to look into. And I think people need to be aware of how we're being played. We're in a 5th generational warfare setting. Now, I don't know if people understand what that means. Essentially, what it means is all assets deployed, everything utilized in that war effort, except the war is against us as the people. Now, this has been going on for a long time, but it's come out into the open, right? Yesterday, we talked about the agenda becoming clear, right? And let's reiterate what some of the globalist agenda is, some of these neo-Marxist types. I call them darksiders. They're working towards a totalitarian global governance system. There is a depopulation agenda related and associated with the transhumanist agenda, right? And there's also an agenda to create total control through social credit-like system with social media and with digital currency, right? And this is what they're pushing. This is why there's so much random stuff. Now, a long time ago, some of these people like Werner von Braun is very famous before he died of quoting and disclosing what the true aim of NASA, the true aim of the deep state was. And so if once the Cold War is over, it'll be terrorism. And once terrorism is over, it'll be a rogue state. And once the rogue state is over, it'll be a climate situation. And he talked about this in the 70s. If that doesn't work, it'll be something of like an extraterrestrial invasion, all created by the governments of the world, of these deep state players that have come to the surface now. There is so much information that's come out. The intelligence communities all over, especially in the United States, but all over the world, have had a hand in creating and controlling social media, all platforms. That's why social media is very dangerous. in a way, it is a weapon. We are taking it back. This is actually kind of what part of the reading yesterday actually talked about. Things are being sort of taken back. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to draw 3 of the mystery cards that are sealed. We don't know what they are. No idea. So it's a mystery. It's going to be a surprise for me. And we've got 2 different types, which will become significant later. Okay, so first card. Now remember, this is for the audience. This is for the new channel. This is for our direction. It's going to help us in our process. So, King of Swords, first card. King of Swords, interesting. This is what I was talking about. This could be a military figure. This could be a lawyer. This could be a professional of some sort, right? But it's the link up of the intellectual mind and the intuition where they're in sync, and thoughts become clear. Direction becomes clear. Communications become clear, right? There's no pussyfooting around, as they say, right? But it's also could be a wise ruler. This could be somebody that's there to help us, not oppress us, right? But as far as the energy, us taking on our own authority, personal authority, that's what we need to take on. We are sovereign beings, all of us, every single one of us, all of you, no matter how you think, where your life situation doesn't seem like you are in control and or sovereign, but you are. We've come into this life to take part in this. So in the awakening process, it's a quickening. This is what we're in right now. Well, Major Arcana, Judgment card. So a lot of time, Judgment actually represents regeneration, right? A lot of people think we're in the end times. The Book of Revelation is we're living it, right? And in many ways, maybe we are. Maybe we are, right? It sure seems like it, but it's our opportunity. Like what the Judgment card really shows is how like these people here are freshly raised from the dead. And in fact, when you flip the card around, the body shapes that they're spelling out actually spell out the word lux, which is light in Latin. So from dark to light. And this is what we're going through. This is what we're prepared for last couple of years, right? But in our personal lives, it really is time to make a change. Because those changes right now are going to be for the better. Right? Especially these people, the people that we're talking to right now, the people I'm talking to, the people you're going to go and share this with, and you're going to go and talk to. These people are awakened. Everybody, there's levels to things, right? But awakening is awakening. People are waking up. They're seeing what's going on. We need each other. We need to connect, right? But it's part of the transformation. So it might seem scary, some of the changes at first that need to take place, but they're for our benefit. It's like in astrology, Pluto, the planet of transformation, it's always for our benefit. It can never be used harmfully. And it's kind of that energy. And then the 3 of Swords, which is heartbroken, right? This is humanity. This is humanity, right? The heart represents humanity, and the swords are what these players, these bad actors, the dark siders have been attempting to do, right? Spiritually though, right? Like what is going on? Like we're choosing to be in this life to release the pain and the suffering that we've picked up in other lifetimes. And that's also a big part of that quickening effect, that awakening. It's kind of interesting, swords, right? So a lot of thought. So, and we got to keep in mind, like, we're in an information war. We're in a psychological, it's a mind war. It's of the mind, right? The psychological operation is there to affect our psyche, our worldview. That's what the swords represent. So when you start to see this stuff, when you start to see how the media, how the government, how these corporations and these non-government organizations push certain agendas, you start to see it more clearly. You start to be able to sort of register what is propaganda and what is real information, right? And that's really important right now. That's super important, because what's basically happened is a lot of the sources of information have been cut off, and we've been left to our own devices. Now, they have effectively dumbed down Western culture for the last 60 years. So if people that lack awareness, lack intelligence, that's how they are able to get away with this stuff easier. And it simply has a lot to do with bringing awareness in your life, re-educating, unlearning. Now, there's another thing. A lot of people talk about how, like, we've been lied to, and that everything in our world is a lie. Yeah, not everything. Not everything. In fact, there's a lot of people on the planet that have been well aware way before all of this happened. And there's been a lot of people on the planet. There's been a lot of people seeking knowledge, right? So we have to take that kind of thing with a grain of salt, right? But people also have to sort of like go out of their comfort zone and sort of, I guess, educate themselves. And that might be difficult. It's necessary. People need to do their own research. I mean, we've been talking about this for years now. This heart, take out the swords. Man, that thing is wide open. It's healed. It's ready to transmit. And yeah, that's, I think, what is needed, right? So that's the message. So that's the second reading, right? So now we've got like 6 cards. So we've got half of our zodiac wheel kind of lined up here. And so tomorrow we will draw the rest, or the next 3. Okay, so let's do this reading. Now, when I do readings with people one-on-one, there's a couple of things. Like readers have different ways of like shuffling the cards, different ways of reading, right? That's just the way it goes. Now, what we're looking into is guidance. What do we need to know, especially in the next couple of weeks, next couple months, in the near future? What can we expect? What's going to happen? What do the deep state have in store? What can we do to offset some of this? What do we need to hear? What's going to help us on our paths? Some of us aren't even being called to even approach some of this stuff, which is good. Those people are there to create a better world. Money. It's either hitting us like the economy right now, right? But the funny thing is, for people that have been in the know, literally I've been warning people for the last 4 years. Almost everything that I've been telling people, and it's not because I'm some amazing genius or a prophet or any of that stuff. It's because my eyes are open. I've been working for myself for decades. So I'm sensitive to the way that the economy rolls, right? But like with the pandemic, I knew that years down the road, we were going to feel the effects of the economy, right? And that's the pentacles. But see, it's funny too, because see how this guy here, the 4 of Pentacles, and how he's like holding on, right? This is also another symbol, especially when it's reversed like this, to open up. And in fact, it doesn't really have anything to do with your physical resources per se. It's more about opening up your life, opening up the physical boundaries of your life now. It's time for us to be empowered, really. We need to be continuing to go out into the world, but to be opening to like new possibilities. I mean, for many of us, it's the spiritual journey that we're on. We're all kind of like this hermit card right now, right? And so a lot of us, it's maybe a lot of us are actually looking for new work, right? Finding like, and it's not so much work, it's like career, right? Freeing ourselves from economic enslavement is kind of what's really crucial right now. And it's going to be challenging. It's still going to continue to be challenging. The next like 10 months, we have to sort of like how the card, like he's carrying the sticks. We have to carry this burden. But what we're going to realize is that this is actually was a good thing. Like the reverse card has a lot to do with the release of burden, right? So that's what we're looking at. We're looking at 10 months still, right? I mean, that gets us really close to the election period, right? Next year. So, but it's interesting because we got to kind of get through the winter. We got to kind of, but many of us are developing new skills. Our gifts are coming to the surface. Like people are realizing new gifts, right? This is kind of a really cool thing. And that's actually kind of like what this past card really represents is for all the people, even before the pandemic and during the pandemic, and the people that resisted and the people that said no and the people that went out and they protested and they fought and they did peacefully with no violence, right? And pushed back. It worked. Good work. Be proud of yourself. It really worked. We were given a reprise. We needed to regroup. And hopefully some new inspiration, new ideas came up, right? That's very key. So if you did get some new ideas in the last couple of years, last couple of months, man, it's time to activate them. Okay? Moving into the world, moving into this new sense of ourselves. I can actually kind of see a whole bunch of people sitting in front of me right now. I mean, it's not a lot, but it's a few, right? And I can actually see some of you going through like a transformation, like a butterfly transformation, like you're becoming a new person. Many people are kind of going through relationship woes as well, because that's part of it, right? But there's a lot of healing that's sort of taking place as well, right? So what's the deep state going to throw at us? Well, it kind of looks like it's same as usual, really. Something economic, which has already been sort of initiated. But it doesn't seem like it's going to work. That's the other deal, right? They're not really successful. Like they're not getting their wish. That's their problem. Some of the main players have been knocked out too, which is kind of a good thing, right? This is why the tide is turning, okay? Surprise candidate. Oh man. Surprise candidate for the election. So that should be fun. And a female. Wonder who that's going to be. Michelle Obama? Maybe? I don't know. They've been talking that already, but that's kind of what they've got in store. They might knock off somebody. Joe Biden might go somewhere. I mean, we're in such a state, like it wouldn't surprise me if they attempted to assassinate Trump or RFK Jr., Robert Kennedy Jr., which the best thing for us all over the world, for the United States, is if those two ran against each other. That would be so awesome. I don't know who I would vote for. I'm definitely more on the Trump side. But I've been following RFK just as long, and I like he's on point with a lot of things. I don't agree with all of his policies, but these guys in the 60s, man, if you pay attention to like what happened in the 60s and 70s, every week somebody was dying. There was an assassination every week. Something like that might happen. Somebody might get knocked off, and then, oh, he had a heart attack. Oh, he was just an old guy. There might be more than one, right? Who knows? See, this is also why the UFO thing is coming out, I think, is because they're at their last legs. They don't have anything else to really do. They're caught creating chimera viruses, bioweapons labs and things. I think we've been under a bioweapons attack. They've been caught. So it's not going to be easy for them to do another one. The climate thing is falling apart in Europe right now. Immigration is also another thing that's really, it's breaking their system because people are starting to push back, right? So that's kind of what I see. They are going to try to start more conflicts in the world. This is another thing. And so it's important, like right now, for people to actually talk about how they are going to start another war. and that they can't. They have to be stopped. And it's awareness that's shutting them down. We got to keep clearing away the illusion and get to the truth of the matter, right? It's okay if you didn't understand before. It's okay if you thought something was another way and it's not. All is forgiven. Go forward without fear and without guilt. The deep state, the bad actors, the dark side wants us to be in fear, in guilt. So we're not activated. Spiritual teachers too. Hermit is a good sign of like spiritual teachers coming into people's lives. There is going to be, because this is what's happening, man. We can no longer hide. We can no longer sit back. We need to come to the surface, right? It's about integration, right? We're in a time now where the spiritual and the material need to be integrated, right? See, this thing with the dark side and the light side, the left-hand path, the right-hand path, they all come from the same source. And I was kind of alluding to this the other day, right? Like with tarot. Yeah, there's been some bad actors with the creation of tarot, but also not. In fact, for the most part, I do believe that the tarot was devised by people on the light side, people that wanted to hold no more secrets. But what they needed to do in the Renaissance era was secure the knowledge that the Catholic Church was trying to eliminate. These deep state elements, these companies, these bloodline families have origins in the Renaissance as well. And a lot of like this infrastructure and this ability to pull the wool over people's eyes, well, it was taught by the Catholic Church. Like the Catholic Church perfected it first, right? But they have taken all totalitarian structures and have studied them and have created an amalgamation of what we're seeing now, right? Okay, one more, and then I think we're finished. See what else comes up here. What else do we need to know? Social media, man. Oh my God, social media. Such an issue. So Page of Swords represents like gossip and talking, right? But I also see this as social media, right? And like, it's really good to take a break. I think it's good to teach young people to take like breaks from social media, not to be just like cold turkey get off. They need to be told, like, I mean, people need to become aware of like how TikTok is basically ruining society. It's creating like robots and dumbed down people and just complete idiocy, right? But kids are smart, man. Young people are smart. They need to understand some of this stuff, but the way to get through to them isn't saying, oh no, you shouldn't do this. You should say, hey, you know what? Take a look at what's behind this. Maybe utilize it a bit different. Take a break. Take a couple of days off. You can go back, right? There's way better things in the world to do than being a social media influencer. But then the other thing is like also not holding back. If you are on social media and you want to speak your mind and you want to get no more censoring. I mean, yeah, okay, we're going to get banned. We're going to get kicked off. There's many different platforms. Some of you guys out there, you've got friends from all over the world and connections, Telegram and what? It's crazy, right? That's what we got to keep doing. But it's really good to take a break. They're using the social media, man, as a way to like really adjust the way we're thinking. They're really trying to prevent a natural transformation of what the Great Awakening is showing us, or what we're taking part in, and triggering their own, like the Great Reset. So it isn't a transformation like what the Death card represents. This is a major lesson that we all have to go through, okay? And it's part of the transition of the ages. It's a very, very important thing. Don't get discouraged. Don't let people that are shooting you down, or if you're going out and you're speaking your truth and you find you're getting shut down, don't let it discourage you. You're being guided, you're being watched over. this is something you need to, like, especially if any of you that have young adults in your life or teenage kids, right? This is something to instill and to constantly reinforce, right? Yeah, they're really going after the young people, and we know this already. This thing with the trafficking has really come out. Hold your horses, right? Don't get too carried away. Don't blow it out of proportion. Just let things come out, right? Because it is pretty heavy. There's been a lot of misunderstandings, and there's been a lot of traps laid out as far as like information goes around this stuff, right? But they're definitely targeting the young ones, right? Our kids. And that's apparent. And then the flip of it is just like, man, we are going to get a series of bad news, really good news. Bad news, super awesome news. Bad news, wow, that's crazy news. That's what's going to happen. That's kind of what this is saying. So it's like, just hold steady, right? Keep coming back to Tarot Journeys with Guy. And keep connecting with people, and just take everything with a grain of salt and be prepared to activate yourself. Thank you so much for joining us here at Tarot Journeys with Guy. I hope to see you again tomorrow, the next day, next video. So come on board and take care, and many blessings. Bye-bye.